All right, welcome to Liquid Lunch on a Tuesday. It's the first Tuesday show we've done in a long time. So I had to reach out. I reached out to Arthena, who was co-hosting on Tuesdays, because Tuesday's the only day you can co-host, right, Arthena?
Yeah.
Which is perfectly normal, right?
Yeah, there's work that has to be done on the other days.
On the other days, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're growing your hair longer?
I am.
It's longer and longer all the time.
Yes. Well, that's the idea of growth, right?
Yeah. And we were just talking how those are actually antennas that put you in touch with the psychic realm.
Yeah. And now spirits will talk to me today. I don't know.
Yes. And in fact, the first spirit to join us on the show today is mark-martyre.
Woohoo!
And Mark, great to see you again.
Yeah, you as well.
After releasing this new CD, which is called Bluebird. And it's... well, I don't know. What can you tell us about this this new?
Well, it's the fourth. It's the fourth album. I think I was here after the second one. The last time I was on the show, I think it was the second album had just come out. This is the fourth one, and yeah, it's more of what you liked in the past.
Well, it's got a very evocative cover. Is there a story behind the cover photo?
The cover that's from Vancouver. Stanley Park in Vancouver, which is where I was living.
I've been there. Yay.
Recently. So all the albums have a certain... the first one has the cover is Toronto. The second one's London, Ontario. The third one was Halifax. And this one's Vancouver. So
we missed that one, the Halifax
one. Yeah, exactly.
So what happened when you went out to Vancouver?
Nothing. Nothing spectacular, but it was just a great experience living out on the West Coast.
So you're actually living there?
Yeah, I was there for a few months.
And when were you there? I was there last summer.
I was there this past summer as well. It's 2015.
Whoa, yeah. Maybe we were there at the same time.
See, that would have been an ooh concept right there.
Wait. Ooh. Yeah. So
it's all coming full circle now that here I am on the show.
Back in Toronto.
And you're both in Toronto now.
With the new CD.
Woohoo.
So that's great. Where did you live when you were out there?
A couple different places. I moved around a bit. The Commercial Drive. I think it's the East End.
I was there. Yeah.
And then moved a bit closer to downtown. The longer I stayed, the closer and closer I got to the water.
Oh yeah.
Until I finally came back home.
Yeah, that's great. Do you want to maybe do a song for us, and then?
Yeah.
I know the songs are very evocative, all on their own, but.
I'll do one from this new record. Another day, another night, another bird flies out of sight. And they say nothing comes from nothing, but I've begun to wonder if they were right. In another city I sit, and I watch the sun drop from the sky. Yes, the road is just one long goodbye. One long goodbye. Oh, how I wish that I could get there. The time keeps slipping from my hands, and life passes through my fingers like tiny grains of sand. I see mountains in the distance, and what's on the other side? Oh, the road is just one long goodbye. One long goodbye. Take pictures that we can't book on a shelf full of old friends. So here we are in the cool breeze, forgetting the muck and mire of it all. Yeah, here we are under the sleepy trees, and we can let time stall. But did the yellow moon always know that our plans would go awry? Yes, the road is just one long goodbye. One long goodbye. Oh, the road is just one long goodbye. One long goodbye.
Woo!
That's great, man.
Thank you.
It's so this is a full. You know, I was thinking. So you got 8 songs on the CD, right?
Yeah, but it's about 40 something minutes.
Yeah, like a regular
Yeah,
LP.
exactly.
And so are you doing this? Is this like an intentional thing where you travel into different cities and are you writing the music in those cities? Are they all city themed like that?
They're not city themed. I mean, I'm writing regardless of where I am. So, but I do enjoy moving around and getting to know different parts of the country, the world. Sort of
Yeah.
thing, so.
And so you've been East Coast, Halifax, Toronto. And Toronto's your hometown, is it?
Yeah.
And so, well, we all know Toronto to a certain extent because we all live here. But now, how are you finding, say, the contrast between Toronto and Vancouver, for one thing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time since I've been in Halifax, so we can talk about that in a minute. But
Sure. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to. There's a lot of different, obviously, ways to compare the two and
Sure.
different subjects and different categories to compare. But they each have their own thing going on. I mean, Vancouver is visually is a beautiful part of the country, which is probably what sticks out to me the most out of everything else.
yeah, that's what people say. Even people from other countries, it's one of the most beautiful settings for a city.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there are parts of Vancouver that are very ugly. The city, what people
Yeah,
have done to it, right? But
sure.
Well, any city is like that, though. Like, there's certain parts of Toronto that kind of, ugh. But then there's other parts that are, like, amazing.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Now, what about the culture, though? Culturally,
I don't know. It's still a Canadian culture, so I didn't really.
I know it's true.
able
Eh?
to
It's really
dissect
funny
it that
because
much deeper.
compared to the U.S., I think if you go, like, say, between New York and L.A.,
Oh, my
it's
God.
like a different
It's a different thing. Yeah.
lifestyle, but it's not really that different of a lifestyle going to Vancouver.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I was there long enough to sort of really examine it too closely. I was sort of just doing my own thing, and I'm sure if I stayed there for years and years, I'd sort of have a better idea of a better report to give you.
Now, Arthena, you had some questions before we came on that I wanted you to.
Yeah, one thing that I thought was very fascinating is you have this lyric book.
Yeah.
And I was following along when you were singing just now because I have to, sort of remember what the first line was and go, where's that song?
Right.
And because I have written poetry and self-published and stuff, and I know as a music lover, we all want to know the lyrics so we can follow along with our favorite, musicians. This concept is amazing. So you sell these books at your shows?
Yeah, and online.
And online too?
Yeah.
So who came up with this idea to have the actual lyric book?
I mean, it was my idea to do it, but I mean,
Fantastic.
I'm certainly not the first person to ever do it. So.
Well, yeah.
So I don't know who came up with it first. And I know who inspired me to do it.
Who?
Well, I know Dylan has a book of lyrics. So.
Yeah.
But
I mean, for me, it was like I always knew I would present my lyrics in one way. People were after playing enough shows, and people would ask, "Oh, are your lyrics available, or are they online?" sort of thing. So. I always knew there'd be some way to present them. I just wanted to do it in a way that I was happy with, and this was the form I wanted to do it in, and sort of give it this type of consideration. And like with records, like with anything else, I could just throw a song up online and have me in front of my computer,
right,
playing a song on YouTube and saying, "Here's my new song, here's my new album." But I wanted to the same way, like package it and say, "Here's the album," and have the artwork and everything go along with it. And I have the same sort of respect, I guess, for my own lyrics that I wanted to put them in this way.
I think the other really good thing about having a book of lyrics is, you listen to the songs on the album, let's say, 1,000 times. And then it's to the point where now it's in your head. You know the song's cold. I mean, every time you do it, I can do that as well because I've listened to it so many times.
Sure.
So now let's say I'm just sitting at home. I'm like, I don't really feel like vibing, Mark's CD right now. Let me just read his lyrics.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the song comes back.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic. And then when people start to go to your shows, because they now have this book memorized, they can sing.
That's right.
They can sing along with you, so you can have this whole audience participation thing.
Why not? Yeah.
So that's fantastic.
Yeah, and publishing books is something it's always on the back of my mind, and so I figured the first one, the transition from doing music, sort of have it music related, in this case lyrics, was a nice way to segue into if the next book is a book of poetry. It's like, well, we've sort of, there's been a natural evolution from purely making records to a book that's connected to the records to now a book that's not connected to the records.
So you're doing the opposite of Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
because he's.
Yeah.
I think he's in the building today.
Is he?
Because I just brought him up when we were chatting.
Okay, Mark. We'd love to hear another one. It's really it's such an atmospheric thing when you're playing and doing these songs. So it's going to.
Well, I'll do one from the last record, which I wasn't able to come by and chat about.
This is the one about Halifax, right?
This is the Halifax album.
And this song sort of relates to the last one. That was called Long Goodbye, and this one's called Long Road. So I don't know. Maybe I've got some sort of a plot running through my head. Well, I never wanted to break your heart, and I didn't want to let you down, but I've been on this road for so long that I think I've lost more than I've found. And I've walked through the wind and the fog, and my feet don't just bark, they roar. And I've stumbled through all these back streets, and well, I
ever find my way to your door? Is there a candle in the window? Well, I wonder, could it be true that this long, long road leads to you? Well, I feel a sickness in my bones, and I'm just so tired of all these games. And I want to hide from all the madness and all these places and all these names. So I'll open up your letter tonight and carry it with me when I leave, and walk down another unpaved road. Well, it's your heart that I wear on my sleeve. Is there a candle in the window? Yeah, I wonder, could it be true that this long, long road leads to you? Yeah, this long, long road leads to you.
So you're back in Toronto now, and are you intending to go anywhere this summer?
Yeah. I've been playing shows over the month in Ontario and Quebec, but yeah, I'd like to go travel again in the summer. I'm not sure where exactly, but I always have the itch to go somewhere.
And are you anticipating a new record will come out of that, whatever?
Well,
wherever
see.
they take you?
We'll see. I don't know what the next... I'm sure at some point there'll be another record, but I'm not sure if it's the next thing, if there's a book maybe coming up before that, or if I'll do something else. I don't know. Go into making furniture or something else. Sort of apply myself in a different way, maybe.
Well, that's interesting. Are you getting sick of the music industry yet? Not that you will. I'm just saying.
Sick of it.
You're transitioning to the book.
I don't know if that's the right word. I mean, I hope this is a 4-hour segment so we can sort of really get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. I can remember once I was playing at the Big Bop, and it was a blizzard, and I was carrying my heavy amp across the street.
Right.
And I realized at that moment that music was stupid.
Yeah.
No, I of course I'm joking, but you know what I mean? It was like one of those moments where you go, I'm really thinking about doing something else.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not that. It's there's maybe I'm sure you've spoken to other musicians on the program, and it's an interesting climate, environment these days when it comes to music and how we sort of go about our business. It's a wild west. There's a transitional period, I think, happening, and so I'm just trying to navigate that myself, and seeing what's the best way to sort of go forward.
Yeah, it's like wild west because
there's just a lot going on. I mean, we're still sort of we're still making CDs, but at the same time we're slowly not consuming music in that form anymore, right? So it's sort of, we're changing the model from what it's been like for at least my generation and probably prior to that to whatever the next thing is going to be. And we're in the middle of it right now, I feel.
Yeah.
So we're still, a lot of people like myself are still sort of relate more to how things have been and slowly being pulled into where things are going. And eventually we'll get there, and then it'll be a different landscape. But in the meantime, we'll see.
I mean, I know what you mean, because when I was like 20 years old, I would go over to a friend's house, and we would. That was before the internet, of course. That was before CDs.
Yeah.
And
So 8-tracks.
Was after 8-tracks.
So cassette tapes.
But it was like with the vinyl LPs, right? And it was a real thrill. Like,
Sure.
we would come to Toronto, make special trips even,
Yeah.
to go to Sam the Record Man and get some
Right.
new records. And it was a really exciting art form
Yeah.
to be participating in. And then you would go and you would spend hours
Yeah.
listening to music, right? And it seems those days. I mean,
Yeah.
do you do that?
I mean, I do get excited about new releases. I'm still of the. I still enjoy buying records, and I still enjoy, cracking the seal on a new album and giving it a listen and going through the artwork and seeing the decisions and choices that artists made. But yeah, you're right. You don't see it. You don't see lineups outside the store for the new whatever release.
Yeah.
But you do see it for the new iPhone. You do see it for the
Right.
new
Exactly.
device. So we still have that excitement. It's just being, the focus is just on a different sort of thing. And
It's moved away from music somehow, right?
And before it was music, I'm sure there was something else. So, yeah, it's just, that's the new sort of cool thing to sort of be excited about.
Yeah.
So
what
I'm
do
not
you-
excited about it. So it comes back to the figuring out what makes sense to me and
right.
what-
So what might make sense? What are some of the things you're considering?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm always going to create something, whether it be a book or another album. So it's not a question of what I do, it's a question of how I do it, I guess.
It's the whole creativity thing, though, and because I'm asking these questions as a musician too,
Sure.
and I have.
So that's a good question. I mean, how you were a musician. You're not currently.
I'm still doing it.
that, but you've found a way to do it in a way that makes sense to you. Or you haven't.
To be honest, I only got into music for the money.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say women.
You're the wrong business, man.
No, I know I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah.
I think I'm still in the wrong business.
Yeah.
But
you found a different way to channel your creativity.
yeah, but I still think about it, and even creativity itself. It seems like because there was a time when it seemed that there was a small number of people, the artists, whether they're musicians or
Painters, sculptors,
filmmakers, anything like
Yeah.
that, or authors even.
Yeah.
And the ones that were good enough or lucky enough to get published or signed had a huge audience of everybody else in the culture that would buy their product and that sort of thing. Now it seems like everybody is a creative artist.
Well, there's a lot more occupying a much larger space. We were, Arthur and I were talking before about, growing up, you'd hear again these big artists that are larger than life, but what made them so big was the fact that there was a finite access to music, a finite access to movies or any type of art form. So you turn on the radio, you either turn on the country station or the rock station or the jazz station or whatever genre, and then they're telling you, here are the 6 artists that you need to know about.
Yeah.
And if you got onto that station, then of course your career was huge and you were a massive star, and the Rolling Stones, etc. But nowadays, our access to music isn't so finite. We have we still have those same stations, but we also have college radio stations and internet stations, and I can go on YouTube, or I can just listen to my iPod, or I can just listen to CDs, or I can go to Reverb Nation or Bandcamp or CBC has their radio player, or I can tune into your station. Everybody has their own sort of podcast, so there's a lot of different ways to access it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of music, and there obviously is a lot of music to fill that programming. It's just you can't become so ubiquitous, because there's
so much content.
Stratified. It's so diverse. Yeah.
It's like if you're doing a supply and demand curve before,
right?
The supply of music was low, the demand was high.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Therefore, the price,
was
in
higher.
a sense, was high that an artist could get in return. But now it's like that relationship between the audience and the creative artist has reversed,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, for you as an artist, what does that mean? What does that mean for you as an artist or for art in general?
Like I said, we need to sit down for another 3.5 hours.
Okay, now it's 3.5.
Well, we've been talking for a little bit, so we're down from 4 hours to 3.5.
We can condense it. Let's see.
Yeah,
we're not in any hurry.
Good question.
Not yet. But seriously, I'm struggling with that question. That's why I'm actually interested in.
I think a lot of people are struggling with it. So I don't know.
I think it comes down to quality and confidence when it comes to like art. A lot of people, when you sort of go out there and you talk to random Joe on the street, it's like, okay, well, what do you like about said band? Oh, I love this dance mix. And it's like, okay, well, what about the lyrics? There's lyrics.
Yeah. But
but that's what the popular thing is now. Now it's about the beat, it's about the hook, it's about whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there's certainly that subculture, that subsection.
Oh no, but I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that's the popular thing. So a lot of people are not aware that music or art or writing can come from such a soul depth to move them unless they're exposed to it. And the exposure comes from confidence, from coming on that channel and
Sure.
talking about your stuff, and as well as sitting down with your soul and saying, hey, what am I going to do? What am I going to create? What is my imprint in this lifetime?
Yeah, like I was saying, there's a lot of musicians doing this, whatever style you would call my style. There's a lot in that genre. There's an innumerable amount of great music happening in that way, and like with every genre, jazz, blues, there's so many, and it's just hard to sort of pick out the really, really great ones because there's just so much to sort of sift through. Again, if I asked you, go on YouTube tonight and find 10 great artists, you could be there for hours going through a lot of less than great artists.
Yes, I will.
So it's not just a matter of having something worth listening to. It's how do you get that to people in a large enough of a quantity that you can have a career doing it.
Right.
And then once you've gotten it to them, how do you make it viable in terms of a career? How do you? So again, one of the ways a lot of artists aren't, they know that record sales aren't the way to do it anymore. So they're touring more.
Yeah.
So they're find a way. Okay, well, we're going to tour more, and we're going to sell T-shirts, and we'll have CDs, we'll have some records on sale, we'll have our album available online, but we know that that's not the bulk of our business anymore. So it's going to come through playing more shows than we have in the past. So it's there's a lot of figuring out these days, I guess.
Now, when you went to Vancouver, did you travel across the country, or
no? I just flew to Vancouver and then traveled a bit on the West Coast. But
I mean, I would think that would be interesting to travel, either on the road somehow, see the country at the ground level.
Well, I would love to, and that's it's on the to-do list, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I want to get 6 friends, or actually 7, because then it's an even number. Get an RV and just go.
Yeah, I want to do that too.
Okay, you could be 1, I could be 1, and then we need 6 more.
But we need to convert the RV so it runs on water instead of gas.
What about the what is it? Nitrogen?
I don't think that'll work.
No. What's that highly flammable gas that they're using as a fuel now?
Hydrogen?
No. I think it's
Brown's
nitrogen.
gas.
Because it's one spark and kapow, right?
Exactly. You got to be careful.
Living dangerously.
Mark, would you do another song for us? This is just really enjoying this, and we're in no hurry yet. So.
Like a story in some old book, you bewitched me with just one look. And those geese flew south, they carried our hearts in their mouths. Yeah, one glance was all it took. And this shirt, and this dirt, and everything that's been hurt. Well, I know what it's like. An old deck of cards, I see your face on all the hearts as 52 men drag me away. There's a place beyond the stars, our song is played in all the bars, each and every day. And your eyes, and your sighs, and those nights with long goodbyes. Well, I know what it's like. Some fireside romance or a cold December night. With blue eyes and green dresses, there's beauty in those messes. In the darkness, they'll find the light. So I walk into the sun. Our past and future become one. We can forget everything that's been done. And I know what it's like. Is there a place for us somewhere beyond the bluffs, where that gentle breeze never blows cold? Yes, I know what it's like.
Yay.
Very nice. Well, I could almost just sit here all day and listen to that kind of stuff. Now, you mentioned before that you've been playing around Toronto, Ontario, and Quebec?
Around Ontario, Quebec, this past month. The album came out at the beginning of March, so I was playing this past month, and I got a few shows left in London and then in Toronto at the end of April. And then, yeah, like I said, well, I'm not sure what's happening in the summer yet. Maybe some moving around.
Where are you going to be playing in Toronto?
At Say What on April 16th.
Yeah. And any other gigs you want to just let us know about coming up?
Well, I'm in London, Ontario this coming Friday. And that's about it. Yeah, it's kind of tapering off, and things are winding down a bit.
But that's pretty good. You just released the CD, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So
and the book itself. So yeah, just trying to tell people about it and see who's interested.
So no plans yet. You're just going to kind of wing it. So let's see. You did Halifax, Toronto, Vancouver.
Yeah,
London, and
we'll see what's next. Yeah.
What else? I mean, this is like Canada, right? So there's only one road. There's only one road in Canada.
Of course there is.
So where else is there's no there's I mean, you could always do Quebec City.
Well, there's a lot of, I mean, yeah, it doesn't have to be a big city, but yeah, there's, I mean, Canada's huge. There's
could do Whitehorse.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot to go, but at the same time, there's a lot of cool places abroad. So
oh yeah,
we'll see.
Is there any overseas places that particularly?
There's too many to list.
That's true, eh?
Just like drop off in like Barcelona and then just pick. Just
go for it.
walk around.
Why not?
You'll find
I'm
yourself.
into
Oh,
it.
look, I'm in Portugal now, and oh, look,
into
I'm in Morocco. Whatever. Just wander.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're close enough.
Now you got the book of poetry here, but are you ever attracted to doing like, like novels or something like that?
Very, very attracted to that idea.
Yeah.
Do you have anything in the works now?
Well, I have poetry in the works. So yeah, and then I'm always writing. Just we'll see what's.
But any like novel concepts or?
Yeah, I have a lot of novels that I've written the first 4 pages of, and then
Nice.
I've abandoned it for lack of interest or life gets in the way. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And I just want to ask you before, because you're doing the live, you've been doing a number of live dates. What is the live scene like for you and for the kind of, I guess we could call it folk music, or?
I guess. What's it like? I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, are the crowds coming out? Are they appreciative?
Yeah, well, I try to play in places that are good for that type of music. You know? So a smaller cafe as opposed to a bar.
Yeah.
Or a theater listening room as opposed to a dance hall kind of thing. So yeah. So when you're in those spaces, people are going there, expecting that I'm going to sit down and quietly sort of listen to a song on acoustic guitar or piano and take it in that way. So in that regard, the shows have been well received.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Would you say that the small venues are more popular now than, let's say, bigger venues in the way of, like, because of quality of music again, like
maybe for this style, for like the folk style, and for singer-songwriters, like not only small venues but the house concerts have become really popular over the past few years, and a lot of singer-songwriters and roots and folk artists and country artists are sort of gravitating towards that because, again, it's a smaller environment. It's someone's living room. They're going there already with the intention to sort of sit down and listen to somebody sing some 10-minute lyrical story.
So you do house shows.
So house shows are great, and
that's cool.
Those are always.
Are there like ticket sales so that if you're going to show up, then you got to drop $15 or something?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Usually it's set up. There are some networks of house concerts that have been created, or some people just kind of do their one-off thing, like Hugh has his house and he has a monthly series and he hosts somebody in it, so there's that as well.
Wicked.
Well, Mark, it's been great to have you back on the show,
it's always a
and
pleasure.
Great to hear some of the songs from the new CD, Bluebird. Why don't you tell people where they can get in touch with you, get their hands on the CD and that sort of thing?
So it's my website, mark-martyre.com, and there's links to places to buy it, to listen to it, lists of tour dates, and all that fun online stuff.
Okay, and of course you mentioned April 16th at Say What? What time do you go on stage?
Probably around 10.
Yeah, great. That's something great to do on a, what is that? What night of the week is
Saturday.
that? Saturday. Even better.
Oh, that's better.
Right? Okay, well, Mark, thanks for doing this today.
Thank you.
Great to hear the new songs, and all the best. And we want to hear the next one, too, so hope you can come back. So let's take a little break, Arthena.
Okay.
And our next guest is in the house, and we're going to get her on here in a couple of minutes right here on thatchannel.com.